fine for you?
Yes, ma'am. Switch off because there may be a bandwidth issue.
Wait. This is fine. Okay, fine. So therefore, you can see my whiteboard, isn't it? So,
Yes, ma'am.
so therefore, what did we find? For any particular property, if you see, we found out. Say that. Say let me name the property as M. So therefore, M mixture. It can be a subscript small m or a M mixture. We found out that this is not equal to N means total number of moles, NI, isn't it? Rather, this was equal to sigma NI bar. And this particular Mi bar, this is equal to the change in property which is brought about by addition of 1 mole of this particular component I, which does not change the temperature, pressure, or the overall composition. Right. In this particular way, Mi bar can be defined. The other thing which which we was discussed, I think, in the last class, that for every particular partial molar property, there exists a Gibbs-Duhem type of a equation. In other words, the partial molar properties also cannot be varied at will. Number one. Number two, the most important part is, if suppose in a binary mixture, you know how the partial molar property of one component varies with composition, then you can find out how the partial molar property of the other component varies with composition. Or maybe at some particular composition, you know the partial molar property of one component, then in that case, you can find out the partial molar property of the other component at that particular mixed at that particular composition. So therefore, from this, what does it imply? It implies that suppose I had started with, say, 1 liter alcohol and 1 liter water. What is the total volume of the liquids with which I had started? I had started with 2 liters of alcohol water mixture. I mix this two, and I do not get 2 liters. I either get a greater than 2 liters or less than 2 liters of the final mixture. So therefore, the total volume with which I started, I do not end up with the same amount of total volume. Or in other words, what I mean to say is that the total volume of the mixture minus the volume with which I had started with this particular volume, this particular part, this is not equal to 0, isn't it? Or in other words, there must, and what is this difference? This must be the energy change on mixing. Or in other words, we can define as the energy change, or rather the volume change of mixing. So therefore, whenever I mix components, I find there will be a property change of mixing. Just like I have delta V mixing, in the same way, if I have enthalpy also, I can write it down in this particular way. This is given as delta H mixing. So in this particular way, what do I have? I can have all different types of, for all the extensive properties, I can have a mixing, I can have a G mixing, I can keep on having different property changes of mixing. Uh, for in this particular case also, I'm going to have a delta A mixing, then in this case I have a delta G mixing. So therefore, whatever extensive properties I had discussed, for all of them, whenever there is a mixture, there is a property change of mixing. And whenever I have got some extensive properties, I can always divide it by the total number of moles, and I can have the molar property change of mixing. I can have the molar property change, molar enthalpy change of mixing, molar volume change of mixing. So therefore, whenever they are mixing and whenever there are interactions between the two phases, naturally the property manifested inside this solution will not be equal to their original properties when they were pure. So therefore, whenever we mix, there'll be an energy change of mixing. And along with that, you all also have to remember that for any particular actual solution, this particular energy change or volume change or enthalpy change of mixing, that needs to be evaluated if we have to proceed further, right? And in order to do this, what we need in order to calculate all these things, for this for calculating vm, the v mixture, we need to know the partial molar volumes of each component I at the composition, where rather at the mixture composition. Same way in this particular case, we need to know the partial molar enthalpy of each component at the composition of the mixture, right? So therefore, for each component, it's important to know the partial molar properties. What is the partial molar properties? It is simply the contribution made by addition of 1 mole of component I to the total properties, right? For all partial molar properties, we define the partial molar property in this particular expression. Now tell me, from whatever you have learned till now, can you tell me that can we define your fugacity of a component I in the mixture by using this particular equation? Can we do it? Anybody who can tell me? Now remember one thing, fugacity, no matter how complex you feel, you will find that whenever I'm dealing with fugacity, I start from the basic equation which defines fugacity. For me, this is the mixture. I either put M or M. No, I don't put, I put M. M is mixer, and when I say MIX, that means the property change on mixing. So let me be consistent. This is RTDLN FM. This is equal to, what is this going to be equal to? Can you tell me? Remember one thing, whenever we are dealing with anything to do with fugacity, we'll start from one basic equation and start. We are not going to jump steps at any particular stage. Can you tell me what is RT, DL and FM equals to?
DG.
DG, fine. And then what, how, or rather D mu also, right? DGM, D mu M, fine. And how do we define it? What is the defining equation? Can you tell me? RTDLN FM equals to the basic defining equation. Can you tell me? See, these things are fine, but the basic equation from which the definition of fugacity had come up, what is it? The equation which we always use to estimate or evaluate fugacity?
It is that F by P ratio as the P
Fine,
tending.
fine. The basic equation was, the basic equation, definitely. See, F by P ratio we got by subtracting one equation from the other. Yes or no? Come
Yes.
on. Yes. What were the two equations that we subtracted one from the other and then came to the equation that you are talking about? What was the basic equation?
Ma'am, VDP.
Perfect. Perfect. So always remember that the basic equation, I'm going to rub these off because these things are not, this is equal to, the basic equation was, this is equal to VDP, and RTDL and P equals to, this V becomes RT by PDP. Now can you tell me, in this particular expression, when we're trying to find out the mixture, that the fugacity of the mixture, what is this V? What should this V correspond to? What, what should this V correspond to? Can you tell me? When I want to, yes, please.
Molar volume.
Of molar volume of the
Mixture
of
solution.
of the mixture. If we are dealing with fugacity of the mixture, then it has to be molar volume of the mixture. If it is fugacity of component I, it has to be the molar volume of component I. In that particular way we should go. Perfect. Now can you tell me that from whatever you have learned from here, can you tell me what is Vm equals to? Can you tell me what is Vm equals to? Just now you have learned. Come on, the mixture partial, sorry, the mixture molar volume Vm equals to capital Vm equals to, come on, the total volume of a mixture equals, yes, anybody? Sajjat Ansari, Saksham Arya, Sankalp Bose, Sanskar Patni, Sanskar Singh. Yes, please.
Find like delta V by delta N as delta N tends to 0, or del V by del N.
No, no, wait. What is the total molar volume of, sorry, what is the total volume of the mixture? Total mixture. Can you tell me? I've written down the equation here. Yes or no?
Partial molar volume into moles.
So in terms of whatever we are using, your name, please.
Ma'am, Sneh.
Perfect. But did I call Sneh's name? Five Sneh only uh, responding. Every time I find only one person is responding, that won't do. The names which I have called: Shalini Bansal, Shayon Maiti.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are you? Your name, please.
Sayan Maiti.
Louder, please.
Ma'am, Sayan Maiti.
Shayon Maiti. Very good. Can you tell me that what should be the? In fact, I have written it down. You tell me. I'll write it down once more. Can you tell me that when we have a mixture, the total volume of the mixture can be expressed in terms of the individual components? What is the expression?
Ma'am, by using the partial volumes,
Perfect, perfect. So why don't you respond unless your name is called? Why is it that every time Sneh responds? What is it? Tell me the expression.
and it should be the Ni into V of that component.
V of what? What should
Ma'am,
this be?
that ma'am is Vi.
Vi, the molar volume? Are you sure?
Means bar. So bar
Bar,
vector.
bar. What does that bar tell you? The
Means
partial
bar,
molar volume.
yes,
Perfect.
ma'am.
Right. Now wait. I'm asking to you also. Now suppose I tell you the molar volume of the mixture. What is it equal to? Vm by the total number of moles of the mixture. You agree with
Yes,
me?
ma'am.
Fine. So this is the molar, this is the total volume of the mixture, the molar volume of the mixture. Total volume divided by the total number of moles. So therefore, what is this equals to? Ni by N Vi bar. Yes or no? Come on. You're Shayan Maiti, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So therefore, what is this Ni by N? Can you tell me? What is Ni by N?
Past.
Fraction.
Ma'am, mole fractions.
Mole fraction. Very good. So therefore, this is then sigma xi Vi bar. Agree with me? Is this fine? So therefore, now in place of this Vm, can I substitute this particular equation? Can I then write this as equal to xi Vi bar dp? I can do it, right? Now,
Yes.
just for your ease of understanding, I'll just take a binary mixture. See, whenever I want to do something simple so that you understand, I take the simplest possible case. For the mixture, the simplest possible is the binary mixture. So if I take the binary mixture and break it, then it's going to be x1 v1 bar dp plus x2 v2 bar dp. Right? Now I ask, whom should I ask now? Shivam Raj? Shubham Kumar? Siddhant Kumar? Soham? Shubhajit? Sukda Prasad? Suresh Meena? Are they present in the class, these students? Rishi? Swaroop Ranjan Mandal? Shoab Nazir? Pradipta Das?
Yes, ma'am.
Pradipta Das?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Well, let me just find out who else is there. Anuradha? Udaya Misra? Utkarsh Singh? I would request Pranita to note down the attendance. The way I am calling. Veera Bomma Sai Venkat? Chinmay Jain? Ronak Agarwal? Shivoy Dikshit? Naman Jajani? Ayush Surana? Shikha Kumari? Ayush Iron? Aditya Jha?
Present, ma'am.
Good. Gaurav Jha? Muhammad Atar? Roshni Kaur? Akhil Nama? Roshni Kaur? Yash Jain? Abhishek Kumar? Achal Kumar? Bhukia Sai Kiran Nayak? Bhagwati? Jai Dutonde? Karnidhi Girija? Padmasri Nidhipudi? Polumi Chaudhary? Pratik?
Yes, ma'am.
Pratik Kumar? Rakshit Gowda? Rohit Dhamija? Shayon Haldar? Sheshetti Shanmukha Sai?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you called actually?
Vardhan.
Vardhan. That name has not come.
Shetty Shanmukh Sai Vardhan. Like it's a long
I
name.
see. After side nothing came. Vardhan.
Yeah,
Fine.
Vardhan.
Acha. Shashank Gautam.
Present, ma'am.
Shivans Raj. Sharaman Pal. Siddhant. Sneh Bandhu Singh.
Yes, ma'am.
You're the only person who responds. Shomil Bharilya. Shomik Sarkar. Vivek Sureka. Rushi. Naman Goel. Suraj Kishore. Charvi Jain. Aman Kedia. Tanmay. Vaishnavi. Varun Balakrishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Vatsal. Tejas, Yashvi Jain.
Yes, ma'am.
Yashvi is there.
Ma'am, did you hear me? I said I was here.
Who are you?
I'm Varun.
Varun, I have marked you present. Varun, yeah. Varun is there. Abbas Sarkar, Abhilash Sinha, Abhishek S. Purohit, Adarsh Kumar, Aditya Agarwal,
Yes, ma'am.
Aditya Chawla.
Present, ma'am.
Just a minute. Aditya Agarwal, Aditya Chawla, Audrija Rai, Audrija Roy, Akshay Agarwal, Anik Mandal,
Present, ma'am.
Ankit Verma, Rastogi, Vishal, I think, Avaru Badri Vishal, Avais Akhtar, Devesh Gobind, Deepjoy Boshak, Jyotiraditya, Katra Kushal Jagdish.
Present, ma'am.
What are you called? Jagdish?
No, ma'am. Kushal. Kushal.
Kushal. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Kumari Bhavna,
Yes, ma'am.
Lalit, Mausam Sinha, Mayank Paswan, Muskan Jain, Nidhi Raj,
Yes, ma'am.
Nitin, Palak, Praneet, Ogula Praneet, Pooja Sharma, Rahul Goldar,
Present, ma'am.
Rahul Kumawat, Rahul Nath, Rakesh, Jayant, Rishabh Kumar, Rohit Shutradhar, Tanay Gaurav, Samira Yasmin,
Ma'am, Tanay is present. He has written in the chat box.
Samira.
Tanay. He has some problems with his mic.
Oh, Tanay present. Fine. Anybody write chat box? Sahil Boira, Sai Kiran, Sajid Ansari, Saksham Arya, Sankalp Bose, Sanskar Patni, Sanskar Singh, Shayan Maiti. I think Shayan Maiti responded a while
ma'am.
ago, isn't it? Yes. Shalini Bansal. Shalini did Shalini respond? No, na? Shalini did not respond. Okay, fine. Well, so therefore, now going ahead, whom did I ask? I have forgotten. Who was it? I was asking, can you just, was it Tridipta Das? Now, what was it?
Yes, ma'am. Tridipta.
Tridipta Das. Yeah. Acha. So, Tridipta, can you tell me that, just I'll mark you present. Yeah. Yeah. So, therefore, can you tell me that, fine, for VM bar, we have written it down as RTDLN FM. In that particular way, what is V1 bar? Can you tell me? What is this particular term? Looking at this equation, you know, for the total mixture, FM is expressed in terms of the molar volume of the mixture. Now, in same particular way, suppose I take up the partial molar volume. With which particular fugacity is it related, and what is the expression? How is this related? Can you tell me? Yes,
F1.
please. F1. Partial molar, isn't it? So therefore, for this, can I write down RTDLN F1? Now, what should I put a bar on it? Should I put a bar on this F1? This is the fugacity of component 1 in the mixture, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
But I will put a hat instead of a bar because fugacity molar in the partial or in solution fugacity, it has a different behavior as compared to all other partial molar properties. What is the different behavior that we are going to see, right? So therefore this V1 bar dp, this is equal to RT dln F1. Agreed? In the same particular way, for this particular part, instead of this, we can write it down as RTDLN F2 cap. Remember, this cap also refers to the partial property, but we'll see after a while, since fugacity is different from the other partial molar properties, therefore, we denote it with a special particular symbol. Right. So therefore, in this particular case, then what do you get? We get RTDLN FM. This is equal to X1 RTDLN F1 plus X2 RTDLN F2. RT gets cancelled out from everywhere, right? Now, I would like to find out the actual equations. So I would like to perform the integrations over this, right? Now, can you tell me that from what to what should I do this integrations? Anybody, any idea? We would always start the integration from the limit where we know the values. Under what condition do I know the value of FM, if you can tell me?
If the pressure is low, then it behaves ideally.
Perfect. So therefore, when the pressure, see, this is maybe a liquid mixture. Okay, so I'll take it to the very low pressure where the liquid has converted to a gas, and the gaseous mixture, that is an ideal gas. So we'll start from very low pressure when the mixture is a gaseous mixture and it behaves like a mixture of ideal gases. From there, we'll come to the actual state. So therefore, we start from the fact where Fm equals to P, and that means we start from P equals to 0, right? Under that condition, Fm equals to P to the present state of Fm. In the same way, what will be the lower limit for this? Can you tell me? What will be the lower limit for DLN F1 bar?
Pure component low pressure.
Pure component partial pressure, right? The partial pressure is nothing but the pure component pressure. From this, we go to F1 cap. In this particular case also, we go from F2 equals to P2 to F2 cap. So therefore, in that case, what do you get? Ln Fm by P equals to X1 ln F1 by P1 plus X2 ln F2 by P2. Or in other words, this is F1 by P1 whole to the power X1, F2 by P2 whole to the power X2. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, is it again Sneh speaking? So therefore, Fm by P, what is it? It is product over I equals to 1 to n, Fi by Pi whole to the power xi. Fine. So therefore, sorry, the cap I missed. Sorry. Very sorry. It should be here. Yeah. So therefore, what do we find? We find that for any partial molar property, what we find, the molar property that is equal to xi vi bar. If it is hm, it is equal to sigma xi hi bar. For any such property, say m, this is equals to sigma xi mi bar. All the properties that we have come across, all of them, they exhibit additive relationship, but mixture fugacity, it exhibits a multiplicative relationship. So this clearly shows that definitely the fugacity of component I in mixture, that is different from all other partial molar properties, and thus to just to retain this difference, you will find that we do not put a bar on it, we put a hat on, just to show some additional respect, we put a hat. And therefore, while all other partial molar properties are denoted in this particular way, the fugacity of component I in mixture is denoted by in this particular fashion. Is it clear to all of you why fugacity is so very different as compared to the other properties? And as a result of which, or in other words, we can also show it, we can denote it as terms of fugacity coefficient, which we can write I equals to 1 to n phi I, again a cap, whole to the power xi. So therefore, this is the equation that is there. So therefore, if you know the partial molar fugacities of each and every component, then from that you can find out the fugacity of the mixture. Anybody, any doubts regarding this?
No, ma'am.
Again, Sneh. At least there were some people
No,
present.
It
Oh,
wasn't.
Perfect. So if it is so, just take down a problem as your home assignment, do it and see for yourself. Say, for example, I give you a very simple problem, a binary gas mixture, right? Which has 25 mole percentage of, say, component A, 75 mole percentage of component B, and this particular binary gas mixture, it is at 50 bar pressure and 100 degrees centigrade, right? And it is given that the fugacity of component A, that is equals to 0.65, the fugacity of component B equals to 0.90 in the solution, or rather in the mixture of A and B. Right, we have a binary gas mixture at 50 bar pressure, 100 degrees centigrade, which contains 25 mole percent of A and 75 mole percent of B. The fugacities of the individual components are 0.65 and 0.90. From here, I would like you to find out the mixture fugacity of the mixture containing A and B in this particular ratio, right? So you can do this. It's pretty simple. You have to just use this particular equation, or rather this particular equation. Is it fine for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you tell
Yes,
me
ma'am.
one thing. Perfect. Now suppose, see, this was all about mixtures. Okay. Now suppose we have a liquid mixture in equilibrium with its vapor, right? And now we would like to know whether there's going to be, we want some sort of mass transfer from the liquid phase to the vapor phase of some component. Say suppose we have, let me take a concrete example, we have a water alcohol mixture, right? Maybe it is 50%, 50-50 water alcohol mixture. Now we want to enrich the alcohol. What do? We heat it. When we heat it, then we get a vapor. Naturally, in the vapor phase, which component will be in greater proportion? Can you tell me? Is it water or is it alcohol?
Ma'am, the one who has high volatility.
Which one has higher volatility?
Alcohol.
Perfect. So
Alcohol.
we'll have a richer. Maybe I do not remember the equilibrium conditions. Maybe here we have say 70% alcohol and we have got 30% water, right? We want further enrichment. We know how long will this enrichment continue? Can you tell me? What is the maximum difference in composition that we get? Who governs that?
Chemical.
Arey Baba, I have taught you fugacity with such a lot of effort so that chemical potential can be replaced with fugacity. Why don't you like this word? What can you tell me? Is this word not at all friendly, or you have till not come to terms with fugacity? Is it?
Yes, ma'am, it's still a new concept.
It's still a new concept, but I would like to know in terms of fugacity, when will, see, from 50-50 I've got to 70-30. Will the composition be 70-30 or 80-20, whatever it is, when after which particular level we will not get any more mass transfer? What is going to govern that? Can you tell me in terms of fugacity?
The fugacity of alcohol in the vapor mixture should be equal to that in the liquid phase.
F alcohol in the liquid. Just see what I am writing, whether you are liking whatever I am writing or not. Yes? Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Same way
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can also write it in a different phi only alcohol, you can also write it down in terms of the water also. When one happens, the other automatically happens, right? So you can calculate either the fugacity, or rather the partial fugacity of water in the liquid mixture and the vapor mixture, and find out. You will always find that this is going to be higher than this, which shows that there'll be mass transfer of water in this direction, mass transfer of alcohol in this direction. If you do it, you're going to find it out. Now, if you have to evaluate these particular fugacities, can you tell me the expression which we are going to use in order to find out the fugacities of these particular mixture? Just I had written down a little while ago, what is the expression that I am going to use? In this particular case, if I take, say, F in the liquid phase, say alcohol. Okay, later on I'll make it component I. So can you tell me exactly in what particular way can I find this out? This will be equal to, come on. How can I find this out? Yes, anybody? What is the equation that is going to connect it to the, everything I am doing at constant temperature? Okay, we are just dealing with isothermal changes for the moment. So therefore, RT ln will be equal to V bar alcohol in the liquid phase into dP. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And again, see, every time I'll resort to the ideal gas state. So therefore, this is for the actual mixture, right? Alcohol water mixture is this. Now for alcohol water mixture, say at very low pressure, that means in the ideal gas state, right? We have a vapor alcohol water mixture at very low pressure, that means in the ideal gas state. In that case, what does that equation become? Can you tell me? I don't want Sneha to speak. Not that I'm having anything against him, but I love his friends more than him. Okay, anybody else? So therefore, in the ideal, for the actual liquid mixture, this is the equation. In the ideal gas state, what is the equation? What is the corresponding equation? If any of you can tell me, it's going to be
RT ln P instead of FP.
P alcohol, right? The partial pressure of alcohol. isn't it? And this one is going to be V alcohol in the ideal gas state, partial molar alcohol in the ideal gas state into dp. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If what is happening? Can you listen to me? Am
Yes.
I audible to all of you? But they
Yes.
Yes,
are
ma'am.
telling me something has gone. I don't know. Anyhow, leave it. Let's not bother about the computer. Right. Now, can you tell me what is this? This is nothing but, can you tell me in the ideal gas state, the partial molar volume? What is this? It is the total volume of the mixture in the ideal gas state,
But del
del N alcohol at
3p.
TP N water, right? N water, sorry, N water. Perfect. I can write it down in this way. Now you tell me one thing. What is this arre, what is this VM0? It is equal to N alcohol RT by P plus N water RT by P. Agree with me? Come on, fine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, if I tell you what is del VM0 del, achha, capital and small has happened. Okay, so I'll make this small. This is small. This is also small. Perfect. So del N alcohol at constant TP N water. Can you tell me what is this?
RT
RT by P.
by P.
Good. More new voices I hear, happier I feel. Very correct. So therefore, if that is the case, and what is this? This is nothing but equals to V alcohol bar, isn't it? In the alcohol water mixture. Agreed? So therefore, instead of this particular thing here, I can simply substitute RT by P. Yes or no? So this is what I have found out. I forgot to put the 0 here, isn't it? This is what I have found out. So therefore, instead of this, I can simply substitute this as RT by P dP. Yes or no? Tell me. So now I have this equation, now I have this equation. If I subtract the two, I assume that you're also working out with me. I'm not the only person who's writing in the class. Now suppose I subtract this from this. What do I get? What do I get? Just subtract and tell me.
RTDLN by P.
Very good, very good. I'll just bring it little down so that you can see it. But then can I reduce this? Good. Now it is fine. So what do I get? Suppose I subtract this RTLN Fi by Fi or F alcohol. Okay, I can put it alcohol since I was doing such a lot of things by P of alcohol, the partial pressure, isn't it? This will be equal to integral 0 to the P V bar alcohol minus RT by P dP. Have I written it correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
So suppose I take a general mixture. It's not an alcohol, any general mixture. Okay. It can be binary, it can be multi-component, no problem. So for every particular component, just generalizing it, we get Vi bar minus RT by P dP. Agreed?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
when I want to see for each and every component, I need to find out this in the different phases which are there. Okay, we can have more than two phases. For each component, I need to find out, say again, if I say it's a vapor liquid, suppose for the liquid phase, I want to find this out. Again, for the vapor phase, I want to find this out, right? For each case, what do I need to know? In order to evaluate this, what do I need? I need the data on partial molar volume of the component I as a function of composition over the entire range of composition, not only at the pressure P, but for each and every pressure right from 0 to P. Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you
Yes.
understand? Can you imagine what a huge amount of data that I require? And at least for the gas phase, it's better. If I have to find it out for the liquid phase, I need more and more amount of data. So naturally, having such a lot of data, it is very difficult. Point one, doing this particular integration, it's going to be extremely cumbersome. So by the time you finish calculating FIL and FIV, you will be so exhausted that you would not like to find any other way to increase the mass transfer and increase the efficiency of the process. As engineers, always remember, more than the accuracy, optimization is something which differentiates engineers from scientists. So therefore, we will always try to do something simpler. Maybe it does not give you 100% accurate results. It gives you maybe say 90% or 85% accurate result, but it is much more simpler and we can do it faster, so that in that same time we can do many more computations. We would go for it. Isn't it? It's not that we are extremely fastidious about the exact accuracy of things. So therefore, the problem is doing such a rigorous calculation, it is definitely not a very feasible thing. Whenever we do not have anything feasible, what do, you tell me? Everywhere in engineering, what do? We imagine something ideal. Okay, in that ideal state, we find that things will be very simple. We understand the entire physics for the ideal case. And after that, we incorporate corrections into that ideal case to account for the real cases. You have done it everywhere. I do not know, you must have done design. In design, you have always assumed a safety factor in order to account for real cases. When we were dealing with real gases, we first understood ideal gases, then introduced a compressibility factor, and that compressibility factor multiplied the ideal gas volume to give you the real gas volume. Then we went for residual functions. Again, we calculated the ideal gas values and then introduced a correction to get the real gas values. So in this case also, instead of going through all these difficult things, what we do is we propose a ideal solution model, right? And we try to understand, we try to formulate this particular ideal solution model, and then we find out what are the liquid solutions which conform to this ideal solution model. For those cases we work. Most of the liquid mixtures, they will not conform to ideal solution models. So therefore, we'll be introducing some corrections to the model so that we can predict the real cases, right? And for the ideal solution model, remember one thing, whenever we are lost, we go to the ideal gases. So for proposing this ideal solution model, what we do, we go for ideal, or rather mixture of ideal gases. We go to mixture of ideal gases, find out how an mixture of ideal gases behave, and accordingly we try to propose the ideal solution model. Now it is 10:36 in my watch, okay, in a computer watch. So should I give a break? I cannot give a very long break. Should I give a break of 5-7 minutes just for you to just for you to relax and start, or should I continue?
Break, ma'am.
I know, I understand that. ठीक है, we will meet. It's 10:37. Okay, we will meet at say 10:43, 45. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we'll continue the
Yes, ma'am.
discussions. One thing before you leave for the break, see, since this syllabus is quite vast, so therefore next Wednesday also I would take a class from 10 to 11. I could not finish whatever I wanted to finish today. Okay, now if I give you the videos, anyhow this video will be uploaded for you, but just with video lectures the course coverage is faster, but I believe that I cannot interact and you're not learning sufficiently with just video lectures. So therefore I would like to have more interactions and more interactive classes, and so that is taking a little more time. As a result, next Wednesday also I'll be taking a class from 10 to 11 and 11 to 12. Okay, I'll be giving you breaks in between. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
We meet once more at 10:45, 44 you take it. I'll start the class exactly at 45. Okay, it's 10:38 in my watch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Well, I think I am back. So within in a minute I can start, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Just I'll give one more. No, 10:45. Okay. So can you tell me now that we would like to propose an ideal solution model for everything? We have nothing. We go to the mixture. For everything we go to the ideal gases, right? So therefore, which particular law you know which governs the mixture of ideal gases? Anybody? Shashank,
Yes, ma'am.
Vardhan.
The
Yes.
max
Anybody? Amagat's law of additive volume. Who is
Amagat's
it?
Amagat's law.
But who are you? You're not Amagat.
I'm Vardhan.
What's your name?
Vardhan.
Vardhan. Very good. So Amagat's law of additive volume. What does this Amagat's law of additive volume tell you? That the mixtures they mix without any change of, or rather without any change of volume. Isn't it? So therefore this tells you that Vi bar equals to Vi. So as a result, V mixture that is going to be sigma Ni Vi bar. In this case, it is going to be sigma Ni Vi. This is what it is told. Now remember one thing, although this was proposed for a mixture of ideal gases, where the gases they do not interact with one another, but this is equally applied for an ideal mixture of real gases as well. Because if you look at the particular expression, see, it was first proposed for ideal gases, where the ideal gases they do not interact at all, and therefore there is no change in volume. On the other hand, suppose we have real gases and the interactions, say we have A and B, two real gases, and the interactions between A molecules, AB molecules, and BB molecules, if they are similar, then in that case also this should hold, isn't it? So therefore, ideal mixture of real gases, they also obey Amagat's law of the additive volume. For most of the cases, they mix without any change in volume, and that is not because the individual gases they do not interact with one another, but it is just because the interactions between like and unlike molecules are the same. So therefore, we find that although proposed for an extremely idealized situation, the mixture of ideal gases, but this actually also holds whenever we find that the interactions between like and unlike molecules are the same. So in that way, it is less restrictive and it is closer to the ideal solution. It is going to be applicable when the like and unlike interactions are the same. So therefore, we try to propose the ideal solution model such that it obeys the Amagat's law of additive volume. Then in the vapor phase, we find that this is highly applicable. In the liquid phase, when the like unlike interactions are the same, then in that case it is going to be applicable. When unlike interactions are not the same, under that condition it is not going to be applicable, and we will be proposing some particular corrections to the model. Now let us see in what way, or rather what is the equation which this model gives us. Again, we are going to start from the very basic, right? For say component I in mixture, I can derive this particular equation today, and then we'll continue. For component I in the mixture, what is the equation? Can you tell me? Anybody? If you can tell me the equation. Tridipta, Gaurav.
Ma'am, RT,
Good, good,
the
good, good. I'm just trying to make you more friendly with fugacity. That is my whole effort in doing this. RTDLN.
FI cap
Very good, very good. Equals to
VI DP.
VI. It is the pure component volume.
No, the molar.
Molar pure component or partial molar. We are dealing with mixtures
Partial molar.
because it's component I in mixtures. So therefore, this is the equation. Agreed? For everything, we are going to write these two equations and we are going to subtract. If you are practicing this thing along with me, you are not going to face any problems and you find fugacity is going to be your best friend. Right now, you're not getting much contact with your friends, so it's good to have fugacity as your friend. If you start with this equation from the very beginning, you're not going to have any particular problems. Every time you find we start from the same equations and we proceed, and since all of these are properties, so therefore we have no problems, right? So we get this fine. And since vi bar equals to vi, so therefore for deriving vi, we just rewrite this for the pure component I. For pure component I, for do we have in the same for the pure component I, for do we have RTDLN. This is going to be Fi for the pure component. No cap, nothing. Agreed? This is going to be equal to. This is going to be equal to. Varun. Vi. Just the which is this Vi is total V by the total number of moles of N. Right? So therefore it's just going to be Vi dP. Same thing I simply repeat for total pressure. This is going to be Vi0 dP. What is this Vi0? It is nothing but equal to, I can replace it with RT by P dP. Isn't it? Again I subtract the 2. Moment I subtract the 2, what do I get? RTDLN for the pure component, mind it. This is Vi minus RT by P dP. Again I integrate. Sorry, hey, tell me when I make mistakes. This I had started from Fi bar by Pi equals to 1 to Fi bar by Pi. Right? In this case also, I perform the integration. It is P equals to 0 where Fi by P equals to 1 to Fi by P. This part it is going to be 0 to P. So therefore, from this equation, what do I get? From this I get RTDLN Fi by Pi equals to integral 0 to P Vi bar minus RT by P dP, right? And from this particular, and what is this Pi equals to? This Pi equals partial pressure. This is equal to YIPT or the total pressure P. Okay, I'll not put PT, it is YIP. Agreed? In the same way, if I integrate this particular equation, then from this particular, from this particular equation, for do I get RTDLN pure component Fi by P equals to integral 0 to P Vi minus RT by P dP. What was my basic assumption? Vi bar equals to Vi. So if Vi bar equals to Vi, what happens now if I take up these two equations and subtract one from the other? What do I get on the right hand sides? Can you tell me? For Vi bar equals to Vi, for when I subtract this two, what happens to the right hand side? Come on, louder please.
Cancels out.
They cancel out, and then what do you get from here? You get Fi bar by Yip equals to Fi by P, or in other words, what do you get? The partial molar fugacity of component I in solution can be expressed in terms of the mole fraction and the pure component fugacity of the component I, provided whole thing is at the pure component and the mixture are at the same temperature and pressure. Do you get my point? And this is nothing but the ideal solution model. This is nothing but the ideal solution model. This was first proposed by two big thermodynamic scientists. They were known as Lewis and Randall. So therefore, this is known as the Lewis-Randall rule. So by using this rule, we can find out fugacity of any component I in the mixture very simply by simply knowing the mole fraction and the pure component fugacity of that particular component I. To find out pure component fugacity, we have already discussed. If it is a gas, you know you can find it from PVT behavior, and if not, from compressibility factor charts, blah blah. For a liquid, how to find it out, you know it, right? So therefore, now if we write this ideal solution model for the vapor phase, what do you get, or the gas phase, whatever in whatever way you take, or maybe for phase 2, if you write it down, simply any general phase 2, you get Fi. Phases are always superscript. So therefore, phase I alpha, say any particular phase, this is equals to, say if it is the vapor phase, then it is YiFiV. If it is the liquid phase, then it is going to be XiFiL. If it is the any sort of alpha phase, then it is going to be Zi. I would put Fi alpha. Do you agree with me? Now, is it not much more simpler to calculate the partial molar fugacity in the vapor phase and the liquid phase and see if they are equal or which one is higher, and accordingly decide the direction of mass transfer? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, what we do, we are going to take up this thing. Now, before we are going to take it up, in the next class, what we do is, we find out what are the properties of such ideal solutions. For the vapor or the gas phase, anyhow, this equation is going to be applicable because this has been derived from Amagat's law, which is applicable for an ideal mixture of real gases. So therefore, we have no problems. Under what conditions this is going to be applicable, we are going to find it out. And what are the properties of ideal solutions, we'll find out. And then what we do, we are going to deal with the vapor mixture and the liquid solution both as ideal, and we are going to solve some phase equilibrium problems. Now there are just 2 minutes left. I would just like to ask you one particular thing, that suppose we are dealing with low to mod. This is just to make you happy. You'll arrive at something which you already know. If we are dealing with a low to moderate pressure, then how can we replace fugacity?
It is P star.
Perfect. Now wait, this is partial pressure, isn't it? In the vapor phase, liquid phase, whatever it is. So this is PIV, this is equals to YI. What happens to FIV? The fugacity of pure component I in the vapor phase at low pressure, this becomes equal to For the vapor or the gas phase, FIV, the pure
Low
component.
pressure, at low pressure, we get FV sat is equal to FL sat.
No, no. See, no. This is something wrong. We do not get FIV. Yeah, we get FIV equals to FIL. That is fine. That is not low pressure that we get under all conditions. But tell me, for low pressure, what is Fi, the pure component fugacity in the vapor phase? What is this equal to for an ideal gas? For an ideal gas, what is pure component fugacity? Can you tell me?
The PI.
Again, the partial pressure.
The partial pressure.
Hey, this is the for the pure component. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm putting I just to denote component I, but this is pure component. Right? Yeah, this is pure component. When you do not have a cap means it is a pure component. So for the pure component, what is fugacity at low pressure? For the pure for a pure gas? For a pure gas, what is fugacity at low pressure? Can you tell me? For pure component I
Ideal
at low
condition, ideal pressure.
ideal gas state, and therefore the pressure, sorry, fugacity reduces to the pressure of the gas, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? See, I've written down here for pure component I, this is the thing. For very low pressure ideal gas, Fi becomes equal to P. Isn't it? That is the basic definition. Perfect. So therefore, for the pure component in the gas phase, we have this. Can you tell me for the liquid phase at low pressure, what happens to the fugacity? What does it become? If you remember the way you had derived the fugacity of a pure liquid, when the pressure becomes low and the vapor in equilibrium with the liquid behaves as an ideal gas, then the fugacity becomes equal to, check it up. This is going to be equal to, check it up today itself, it's going to be equal to the saturated pressure of the saturated vapor pressure of the component. So therefore, at low pressures, what do you get? When the gas behaves ideally, you get this equals to this. And you know the partial pressure in the vapor and the liquid phase, they both are equal. So therefore, this is Xi Pi saturated. So therefore, at equilibrium, what do you get? At equilibrium, equating this and this, we get Yi total pressure equals to Xi Pi sat. Do you recognize this particular equation?
Raoult's law.
Raoult's law. So now do you know from where Raoult's law has come?
Yes, ma'am.
Raoult's law is just the ideal solution model at low pressure. Remember one thing, and for most of the cases, for the second year thermodynamics, we deal with low to moderate pressure. So therefore, we'll be dealing mostly with Raoult's law. It is just the ideal solution model at low pressure. You have a yes or no? So therefore, thank you all. We leave the class now and we meet on Wednesday from 11.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You have a class after this, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. We have test.
Yes,
Arre
ma'am.
Baba, go. That's why such less attendance. Go. So TS, thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
yeah, and I would Farin and Vipin, possibly both of them, they are going to give me the ideal solution, etc. Those not I think partial molar properties, isn't it? Yeah. I cannot hear you. Anyhow, fugacity, lot of questions Pallavi and Pranita has given. You give me, yeah, you give me partial molar properties. Some don't give lot of fugacity. Okay. Try to give a little few more questions on say method of intercepts, how to find it out. Not many, but some questions. Okay. And Pallavi and Pranita, you finish correcting, and then all of you sit and correct the assignments. Okay, the test answers. Have you got the uploaded solutions?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Perfect. Go ahead. Any doubts, anything, any of you can contact me. Okay. So we meet on Wednesday from 11. Okay. Pranita or Pallavi or Farin, anybody, you can start the class and I'll join. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. Okay.